Hello everyone, I'm Hazel from Manila. Today I would like to discuss a serious topic that affects many Filipino women. We're talking about the dark world of prostitution rings, often run by foreign nationals like Chinese and Koreans, right here in the Philippines. It's a heavy subject, but it's important to shed light on what's happening to help bring change and support the victims. The average woman you see on the streets of Manila just wants to have a decent and happy life. Many of them, as you can see in this video, go to work each day, they attend college, they enjoy outings and laughing with their friends, and from the outside, they appear to be happy and very full of life. But many of these ladies are poor and barely have enough money to survive. It's normal looking ladies like these who can fall on very hard times, and they will make decisions that will make their lives dark and depressing. In their search for employment, many job offers seem too good to be true. The ladies will accept these jobs and feel lucky that they found such a good opportunity. But many of these jobs are offered by criminal organizations that will strip away their freedoms and put these ladies to work in their brothels. Many ladies will not be able to escape this new dark world that they have entered. Recently, police raided an illegal facility in Pasay City. This facility was known as a Pogo hub. Philippines police discovered about 80 rooms where Filipino women were forced into prostitution. These women were not only Filipinas, but also included Vietnamese women and Chinese and Korean women. The place was like a small city, with restaurants, KTV bars, and even spa services. Many of these women were held against their will, and they were forced into pleasing male customers. It's horrifying to think about the abuse these women suffered. But how did this happen? It all goes back directly to these Pogo operations. These are online gambling companies catering to Chinese players since gambling is illegal in China. This business brought thousands of Chinese workers to the Philippines, and with them, a high demand for prostitution. These Pogo hubs, often protected by powerful individuals, operate under the radar, making it difficult for authorities to crack down on them. In Paranaque City, another shocking incident took place. A Chinese man and his Filipino partner were arrested for running prostitution ring. They lured women with promises of good jobs but trapped them in a cycle of debt and forced them into prostitution. These women were then sent to high-end hotels and casinos to serve clients. During the raid, police found firearms, laptops, and large amounts of money, showing just how organized these criminals are. There are actually a large number of Chinese-operated brothels that cater exclusively to Chinese clients. Nearly 300 Chinese sex workers and their clients were rounded up in several raids. These places are often disguised as karaoke bars, but in back rooms, they traffic women to pay off gambling debts. These operations are part of a larger network involving organized crime, making it tough for authorities to locate and arrest them. The stories of the victims are heartbreaking. These women suffer from severe physical and psychological abuse. They are kept in terrible conditions, they are physically abused, and they are deprived of their freedoms. Many are lured with fake job offers, only to be trapped in the sex trade. The trauma they endure is hard to imagine. Many of these ladies will experience anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress syndrome. They need a lot of support for them to recover and try to rebuild their lives. Hey guys, I would like to take a moment to ask you to do me a big favor by hitting the like button to support my channel. Liking and subscribing really helps me out, and I really appreciate your support. The involvement of foreigners, especially Chinese and Koreans, shows how these trafficking rings operate internationally. They exploit the system and the weak law enforcement to run their illegal activities. The large number of foreign workers from Pogo operations only makes things worse, increasing the demand for prostitution. These trafficked women are often forced into this life to repay debts or under threats of violence. The Philippine government is stepping up its fight against sex trafficking. Many agencies, including the Department of Justice and the Philippine National Police, are working together to arrest the traffickers and rescue the victims. They're also trying to strengthen Philippines' laws and increase penalties for those involved in trafficking. Recent raids in other parts of the country reveal similar horrifying stories. In Baguio City, a brothel disguised as a massage parlor was raided. Police rescued several women and they arrested suspects linked to Chinese and Russian crime groups. These women were abused and forced to provide sexual services to wealthy clients. In another case, the National Bureau of Investigation arrested a couple for operating a sex trafficking ring. They promised women jobs in the city, but they tricked the women and forced them into prostitution. The women were kept in terrible conditions and faced severe abuse. In Makati City, police raided a hotel penthouse used for prostitution and arrested 16 foreigners. This raid was part of a larger operation targeting Chinese-operated prostitution rings. They rescued women, many of them from the provinces, and they shared with police stories that are so terrible that I cannot describe them here. I will share the personal stories of two survivors. I am not using her real name, but a 24-year-old lady I will call Maria from the provinces was promised a job as a waitress in the city. Instead, she found herself trapped in a brothel, forced to entertain clients every night. She describes her experience as a nightmare, where she was constantly under threat and physically abused. After many months, she was rescued, but she has been trying to rebuild her life, and she is suffering many emotional problems. Another survivor, Anna, was lured with the promise of working in a spa. She ended up in a Pogo hub, where she was forced into prostitution. Anna talks about the psychological and physical abuse she endured. After she was freed, it took her several years to be able to leave her home. She is now part of a support group that helps survivors heal and reintegrate into society. The trafficking criminals use social media and messaging apps to lure victims and communicate with clients. WhatsApp is commonly used to advertise services and coordinate illegal activities. This app makes it difficult for police to track and intercept communications. Angeles City is a very popular nightlife and bar scene. Men from all over the world visit this walking street. However, many visitors are unaware of the dark nature of human trafficking that happens here behind the scenes. Many of the workers in these bars are under the legal age, and they have been forced to work in these clubs. Recent rescues in the city have included young ladies who were found working in bars under extremely deplorable conditions. Many women in these bars are victims of false promises. They are recruited with offers of legitimate jobs, such as waitressing or performing, but after they arrive, they are forced into providing services to men. Their documents are often taken, and they are trapped in the industry. After they start working, the women are told they owe large sums of money for transportation, housing, and other associated job fees. This debt is used to control them as they are forced to work to pay it off. It is a debt that is often impossible to repay due to constant fines and deductions that the traffickers keep adding. If you plan to visit Angeles City, Makati, or even just a local massage parlor, there is something crucial you need to understand. The women you see entertaining and working in these places often have a much darker story than what appears on the surface. Many of these women are victims of human trafficking. They were tricked with promises of good jobs or a better life, only to be forced into this industry. Their freedom is restricted, and they live under constant threats and abuse. It's also important to recognize that some women enter this line of work out of economic necessity. Poverty and lack of opportunities leave them with few choices, and they might willingly take up these jobs to support themselves and their families. But it's hard for them to leave this lifestyle because they are trapped by debt that keeps being added by the operators of the clubs. The women you meet might seem cheerful and welcoming, but many are hiding their suffering behind smiles. They are controlled by powerful people that use physical and emotional manipulation to keep them in line. Many of these women actually begin to enjoy this lifestyle, and they adapt to it. Without these jobs, they would not be able to survive financially. While they are working, they have a roof above their heads and food to survive. I do not pass on judgment to anyone. What happens between two adults is their business. Many men need the companionship that these women provide. And the women need the money that these men provide to them as well. Everyone can be satisfied with the arrangements they agree upon. But, we do need to understand and remember that there are many women who have been tricked into this type of work, and they are the real victims. I would like to hear your comments and opinions about this topic in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today. Please be sure to hit the like button to support our channel, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for our next videos. Until next time, be safe, and we will see you all again soon.